Hey, everybody. On today's show, it's going to be a lot of fun. It is Hispanic Heritage Month, September. And in honor of that, we have friend of the podcast, and she's co-hosted the show before, but she's back to hang out with us. Michelada is going to be here hanging out with us. We're going to go through some famous Latinas who have changed America. Also, we're going to get into some stuff that's been happening in the news that's very interesting. It's going to be a very, very fun show, and we will finish it all off with Carol. So grab a drink, and I apologize now for butchering the Spanish language, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Who Invited Her? We are San Diego's LGBTQ pop culture podcast. I am your host, Tony, and I'm here with my other host. Say hi, Bashy.
Hi, Bashy. I'm going through a Tommy Bahama phase today.
Are you? My shirt is actually as pink as yours, but in the lights it shows up white. It's so weird.
Or maybe just against, it got scared and turned white of being against your skin.
Probably. And Eric is here. Say hi, Eric.
Hi, everyone. I have my showgirl shirt.
I love
today.
that shirt. Don't know me.
You don't know me.
And you guys, she's back. It's been so long since she's been on the show. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Michelada is here. She's going to co-host the show with us. Hi, Michelada.
Hi.
Wait, I got to play your music.
Oh.
There it is. Yes, everybody, Michelada is back. It's been a hot minute since she's been on the show, but she is going to be co-hosting the show with us since Miriam T is off this week. She's doing Wine Club at Inside Out, but she will be here next week. So you guys, first, I want to catch up with Michelada before we get into the meat of the episode. How have you been, Michelada? How's everything you and White Eric have been doing during quarantine? Shameless plug, shameless plug, shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
So for everybody that's listening to the podcast, Eric is behind her giving the Venmo. What is your Venmo, Michelada?
It's J Mitch.
J Mitch.
You can also follow me at www.michelada.com.
Ooh, she has a website.
How did you get
out.
Michelada.com?
I know.
Girl, I can do whatever I want. I'm actually reporting. This isn't even my house. This is the Z Gallery showroom. They just let me use it.
She's like, I need your showroom.
I'm surprised Bud Light or Corona didn't have that bot or something.
I know.
Holy shit,
Oh, no,
you could sell that for a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's brought to you by Pacifico.
Pacifico, there you go. How have you and Eric been handling quarantine? Because we haven't talked to you since lockdown. So how's everything going with you? What have you been doing? Catch us up really quick.
I've been eating.
All of us have.
Eating. No, believe it or not, it was so weird today, trying to paint a face. It was I missed a bunch of steps, and I'm like, what am I doing? What's next? So I haven't painted a face in maybe 2 months. So
really?
It's been good.
Wow.
So yes, I've not been doing drag for 2 months.
Wow. How have you been keeping busy, with just work? Because I know you work in the healthcare field. How has that been during COVID? I mean, I'm sure you have stories.
It hasn't been as crazy as I'm in primary care, so it's, I'm not in the main hospital.
In the hub.
But it's been good.
Yeah.
Can't complain. I've been eating a lot, cooking a lot.
Yeah.
Actually doing a lot of those fucking tasty recipes that you see on the Facebook ads.
Yes, yeah. We've tried those too.
Those ones where you're cutting a bunch of King's Hawaiian rolls in half and then just putting a bunch of shit in the oven.
Yeah, that's pretty much
butter.
It, yeah.
Ooh,
I've gone through tubs of butter.
I've gone through so much butter during quarantine. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't realize everything called for it so much.
I know, right? Yeah. Since you're cooking
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
There was 1 month where I went through 4 sticks of butter. I'm like, who the fuck am
4
I?
sticks of butter?
Yeah.
What were you cooking?
Scones.
Oh, yeah, scones, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking baked things.
I
didn't realize butter's the key to everything.
So Michelada, you and Eric.
It's the key to happiness.
You and Eric just went on a little vacation right into the woods. I saw on social media. I was like, they're in the woods? What are they doing in the woods?
Well, we took a COVID test a couple of days before that.
Yeah.
We went to go visit Eric's family who lives in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
So
How
that
was
They
it?
live. Oh my God, it was amazing. They live right on the lake. They love to
Oh, God,
bake
that sounds
pie.
so
His
nice.
dad was a baker, so they love to make
Pies?
pies and cakes. And,
Oh my God,
yeah.
that sounds like the perfect vacation. That
Damn.
sounds like the perfect vacation. Oh, so you guys, so September is Hispanic Heritage Month. Did you know? I'll know that September 15th through the October 15th is Spanish Heritage Month. So this episode will be coming out at the beginning of September. So we thought we might as well celebrate a little bit since it is
Yeah.
Hispanic
Yeah.
Heritage Month. So little fun facts about Hispanic Heritage Month. It started out as a week. We only got 1 week in 1968. That's all they gave us, and then it didn't become a month until 1988 is when legislation passed, and it was because of Esteban Edward Torres. He was the one who put it in. What's it called, the Senate, for it to become a whole month. And the whole reason why they started it at the 15th was because it was the anniversary of independence for 5 Hispanic countries. I didn't know this.
Oh.
Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. And I think there's one other one. I can't remember the name of it right now. But
Mexico.
all of them their Independence Day fall within the time frame of September 15th through October 15th. So that's why they chose that date. Another fun fact is, I didn't know this when I was doing research for this, but Hispanics account for 16.7 percent of the national population, with between 52 to 60 million in America are from the Hispanic culture. Can you believe that?
I honestly thought it was higher.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, so did I. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that was as of I think 2019, it is the fastest growing demographic in America, where
I'm gonna
they
fact
were.
check you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm like,
Go
have
ahead.
you ever sat in the Planned Parenthood waiting room? There's nothing but my.
Well, California and Texas have the highest population of Hispanics in America, which I thought was like, okay, I see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because that's
What?
Hispanics, which signifies speaking Spanish. But I think
No.
Latinos is higher. No. This is fucking marketing, because Latinos
Yeah.
also counts Brazilians. and
Yes,
that stuff.
exactly.
Yes.
There's a whole like other subcultures but they were just counting Hispanic, I guess. But the other thing is Spanish is the second most largest language spoken in the U.S., which I kind of
We
already
speak
knew.
English in America, Tony.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Are you kidding? God damn it. But I thought that was interesting. Also, I forgot where I read this, but the population, I want to say, I'll look it up, but somewhere I remember reading the population of Hispanics in the U.S. was more than like Spain or something like that. Weird. Some statistic. Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
That wouldn't surprise
second to Mexico with the largest population. Which I was like, there's a lot of us out there, which is good. But yeah, just a little fun facts. I know Eric had one. What did you read when you were researching this, Eric?
Actually, I remember now. I have 2. Number 1, they invented the color TV in Mexico, which I think is super cool. And then the other like crazy, ironic fun fact was that birth control, the first oral contraceptive, was like invented in Mexico, which I think is so crazy as like being such a Catholic country. Like,
And I know with my family, we got a big old Mexican family, so I was like, they obviously didn't use it. So I don't know.
Here's
Michelada,
weird.
I have a
weird
question
little
for
fact.
you.
Oh.
I'm very curious. How was a young Michelada? What was a young Michelada like?
ooh,
I don't think we've ever
Same
covered
weight,
this.
just shorter.
Oh,
I came
my
out of the womb a solid 225.
Oh, your poor mother. Your poor mother. She just tore
Oh
her
no, I was
up.
born a C-section.
Oh, you
I'm
were?
A C-section. I'm a platinum gay.
Oh, you were what?
Oh, yeah.
Platinum gay. C-section. That is true.
No, I was little. I was just, I think I was the same. I was out. So I used to like put together I was the oldest. I wouldn't like have all my cousins get together and we'd make like music videos or put a play together.
Yeah.
And they hated it, but I was older, so I'm like, no, we're gonna do this. They're like, no, we want to play football. I'm like, no, we're gonna play Spice Girls.
You're like, no, we're doing this. Oh man, that's funny. I could just imagine a young Michelada just being as loud and and all of that. You must have drove your parents crazy, or were you a good kid?
I was the oldest. I was pretty.
You were
tame.
responsible.
Yeah. It wasn't honestly. I didn't become like a piece of trash until I was like in my 20s.
I was gonna say till you met Miriam T. She's not here to defend herself. I know.
I can't give her any credit for this.
Oh my gosh. I know when it comes to this is another thing I was gonna ask you guys since it is Hispanic Heritage Month. What do you see a lot of representation on TV and film with the Hispanic culture as of late?
No.
No, I have to agree.
Not enough.
No, I thought I was the only one who thought this. Like, I'm like, when I was doing research for the show, I'm like, there really, if you look through the history of TV and film, especially, there really isn't a lot of TV shows that are primarily with a full cast of Latinos and Hispanics that are on mainstream TV. You see it with the white community, the black community a lot lately, but not really with the Hispanic community. There's like maybe a handful of shows I can name.
There was like George Lopez show.
Yeah,
like
Ugly Betty. We got Ugly Betty.
Anything, yeah, and like anything outside of that was like a telenovela. So it was
you're right. Yeah,
they did do a sequel to that that like gay movie. What the fuck was it called, Eric? The Love something.
Love Victor.
Love Simon.
Love Victor.
Yeah.
Love Simon was the first one.
Simon.
And Love Victor was the second one, and he's Latino.
Yeah.
It was a cute show.
I remember watching Love Victor and the one thing I wanted to point out, the actress who plays Hilda on Ugly Betty, who played Ugly Betty's older sister, plays the mom in I Love Victor. Yeah. I liked the show up until she sat down at the piano at one episode and started playing Selena. And I was like, oh, wow, they're really playing into stereotype. I was like, okay, we get it. They're Hispanic. Yeah. I was like, really, out of all of the songs they played, I forget, it was the song that made her on her the English song she did. I forget the name of it.
I Could Fall in Love.
Yes, that was the song she was playing on the piano, the mom. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're on that note, no one has a bigger range than Jennifer Lopez, because she went from playing Selena to being a white lady on like, what's it called? Rumor Has It.
Yeah.
No, not Rumor Has It. Monster-in-Law.
Monster-in-Law.
She was Italian.
Or no, the wedding planner.
Italian.
The wedding planner. She was like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, she's Mexican, and then she's Puerto Rican, and then she's Italian.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
But-
Latinos and Italians just we switch genres a lot.
I know.
I'm white when it suits me.
We know. The other thing I was going to ask you guys with this, when you can think of really famous Hispanic, either men or Latinas, who have actresses that are really in the Hollywood eye, who comes to mind for you guys? That really is a trailblazer within the Hispanic community that's out there, not just playing maids and all of that stuff, but actually making good film and TV.
Salma Hayek.
She is so
Yeah,
good.
Yes.
Salma Hayek.
fucking love
Actually,
Salma Hayek.
there was an article of the Huffington Post that came out that Salma Hayek, even now, because she's had so much success with her career, that she still struggles as a Latina actress in Hollywood and still getting offers for the stereotypical roles of the maid and all of this stuff. Those type of roles, even though she's been doing it for decades now and has built a career, she still struggles with it in Hollywood, which I'm like, we're in 2020. Why are you having to struggle with it? It's so bizarre. But I think of like definitely Jennifer Lopez, even though I don't know, she's a controversial one in a way, because I remember there was that article that came out that like she plays white sometimes and not Hispanic. So I was like, people are not gonna like that. But who
There was
else?
like a
do you
picture
guys-
circulating of like Mandy Moore and Jennifer Lopez side by side, and it was like Mandy Moore is the white lady Jennifer Lopez plays in most of her movies.
Oh my God.
Oh,
How about
God.
you, Bashi? When you think of Hispanic Latino actors, actresses, who
Not
do you
a
think of?
lot come to mind, which is sad. I don't know.
I know.
One that I really like, but I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen him in like a like Hispanic role. It's always been just kind of like some kind of fantasy or sci-fi thing. Is Oscar Isaac? I like him a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah.
He's in Star Wars, and then he was in Ex Machina,
Ex
which is
Machina,
really
which is a
good if you
great
haven't seen
movie
it.
if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Oh my God. It's so good. What was the show we were obsessed with, House of Flowers? That was
Oh,
on
Casa de
Netflix?
las
Oh,
Flores.
Yes.
Oh my God, what's her
Oh my
name?
God, yes.
Oh,
so good.
so many good actors.
Have
Maria
you seen
Jose.
that, Michelada?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Isn't it
I
so good,
finished
that
it.
show?
Yeah, I finished it in like one day. The third
So
season.
good.
Did you
Oh,
watch it
so
dubbed
good.
or with subtitles?
No, I watched it with neither.
Neither. She's like, I speak Spanish, asshole.
No, but yeah, that's what I meant.
Wow, Bash.
Here we go. Let me dig my grave.
But that was nice of you. See, that was my Jennifer Lopez moment. See,
Was
I did
it?
that.
Your Jennifer Lopez.
Yes, I
movie.
watch it with subtitles. Thank you.
You did. Oh, but yeah, if you think about it, there's not a lot of really well known, and we talked about this last week with that comedy special that's on HBO, and how at the beginning of the special they pull out a dictionary full of white comics and then a dictionary full of Jewish comics, but when it comes to Hispanic well-known comics, there was a pamphlet. That's all we got. Then it was all male comics and not female comics, which I found interesting. And then if you go on HBO Max, I forget the name of the show, I got to look it up, but we talked about it last week. Most of the cast for those comedians were female, which I really liked. So, but speaking of, since we're talking Hispanic Heritage Month, I thought instead of going through iconic Hispanics that have changed history, we're going to focus on Latinas who have changed history in America. Some really, really famous ones, and I apologize now if I butcher these names.
This is why I ask about subtitles, because this is what I'm using.
I know. I know. So Elena Ochoa is the first one. She was the very first. She became the very first Hispanic woman in the world to go into space. Ochoa was aboard the Discovery shuttle for 9 days while conducting important research for Earth's ozone layers. And since then, she has clocked in over 1,000 hours in space. But she was the first Latina to ever make it into space. I thought that was really interesting. The next one, this one, when I was doing the research, I found so fascinating because I remember I listened to, when I was researching this, I listened to her music and I was like, why did I never like listen to her before or became aware? But Joanna Baez, I think that's how you say it. Joan Baez, sorry. We Shall Overcome. She sings, she was a legendary folk singer, and she was one of the lead singer people for Washington for the civil rights movements in 1963. And she sang the lyrics, "We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday." And from that, she had lived those words for the rest of her lives and for the rest of her life. And she was a passionate, outspoken person for anti-war at the time and for civil rights activists. And she was a powerful feminist. But the thing that she was well known for that people always associated was her relationship with Bob Dylan. That's what they knew her for, but not her music. But if you dive into her music, she was very political and very activist for minorities, for feminists, all of that. So I thought that was really interesting. The next one, Dolores, I'm gonna fuck up the name. Huerta. Dolores Huerta. You guys are familiar with her, right? Anybody?
Sounds familiar.
No?
I love that you have to turn to Rob.
I know, the white
the
boy.
white guy from the Midwest.
Well, this is what I was explaining to Rob before, like, with my like dyslexia, I see stuff like I know how it's supposed to sound I know how it sounds in my head, but looking at the words, like letters are backwards in a way. So it makes it a little
So you're
hard.
dyslexic.
Yeah,
That's
a
the
little bit,
definition of dyslexia.
So anyway, I know. Shut up, Ash. I hate you.
Was she like a union leader?
Yeah, she was. She was the one who started the. Let me find it. The Union United Farm Workers Organization. She was the one who started.
That was like
it,
Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, them too. Yeah.
That's where I know.
Yeah,
it.
she really in 1965 she created the Union Farm Worker, an organization that worked with tirelessly to improve the working conditions of farm workers. Because if you go online and you do the research of how immigrants, especially the Hispanic culture in California, were treated back then for doing field work, farm work, it was rough.
Back then,
even now,
Still now.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
those people are breathing in fucking fire smoke right now.
Yeah,
To
which
get
the
us
fires here
goddamn
in
tomatoes
California.
on the shelves every fucking
Yeah.
day. I hope everybody realizes that and thinks they're farmers for it.
Yeah, and she's still like she was the one who like really led the charge for getting farm workers the equal pay, getting them good conditions to work in and everything. So that's really cool. The next one, okay, a list of Latinas who have changed history would not be complete without Selena. Yeah, so she popped up on the list, which for when I was a kid, that's all my cousins and my uncles and my tias and tios listened to.
Still today.
I know,
They
still
all
today. Come
Yeah.
on, when you go, let's go. Like when you go to a drag show and the drag performer comes out and you hear "Bitty Bitty Bomb," the crowd goes crazy still.
When Michelada comes out.
Michelada comes out. Yes, but she's only a handful of pop singers from Mexico or Latin America, Gloria Estefan, Rita Moreno, that have crossed over to mainstream. And unfortunately, we all know she died before she hit it big, but she was on track to be the next Madonna, is what they have always said. But she changed. I think she influenced a lot of what happens within pop culture. I think, yeah, in my opinion at least. The next one, we all know Sylvia Rivera. And we talked about her for our Pride Month. But Sylvia Rivera was a mixed race, Puerto Rican and Venezuela trans woman. I didn't know she was Venezuelan either. I thought she was just Puerto Rican, which was interesting. But she
I didn't know she was.
Yeah. She was she pioneered the LGBT. She was an activist for trans right and homeless LGBT youth, especially in New York in the 1970s. She did a lot of work. She started the street I can't speak. She started the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionary organizations. God, that's a lot of words. In the 1970s. So she helped a lot. A lot of her projects helped homeless youth and the trans community, which I really thought was cool. And even today, she has the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, which they did in her honor, which still is running in New York to help youths of the LGBTQ community find homes and all of that and jobs. The next one is, let's see if I can say this, Ana Mendieta. So this one, I know, I warned you all before I was gonna butcher these names. This one I found them really interesting because she was she became a refugee at the age of 12, fleeing the regime change in her native Cuba, but she immigrated to Iowa. Out of all places in America, she went to Iowa. And she was an artist, and she was a very controversial artist at the time, but she got overshadowed because of her husband, Carlo Andreas. He was the one who became popular with his artwork and not her. And most of her artwork was influenced by the earth and femininity. And she played around with femininity and masculinity. There was a lot of pictures of her with a beard. And then she was one of the first Latinas to be referred to as they and them, which I thought was very interesting. Back in it was 1985, yeah.
So could she grow a beard, or she just painted herself?
No,
like that?
she grew one. There's pictures. She grew one.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it wasn't until after her death, which I found really interesting. Her controversial death, her husband was cleared for the murder of her in 1985. So she died under very, very sketchy circumstances. But after her death, and not until probably 2013 is when her artwork started becoming relevant and starting to get recognized within the art community. And now, like, her artwork sells for so much. Like, her legacy and how she changed Latino artwork is only getting recognized maybe in the last 5 years, which I thought was interesting.
What's her name again?
Her name is Ana. You're gonna make me say it again. Ana Mendita is her name.
Sound it out in Spanish.
Mendita. Yes, fool. Mieta. There we go. I know. I'm bad at this. Julia de Burgos is the next one. Oh, she was really interesting when I was doing research for this. So she was born in 1914 in Carolina, Puerto Rico, and was a successful published poet in her native Puerto Rico. But when she came to the U.S. in 1930, her poetry all talked about where she was from, the country, how beautiful it was. And it was very scandalous for the time. But she was also a Black Latina who came to America and tried to get into the poetry and get published. But she couldn't get published at the time because she was a minority and she was Latino and Black. And because she wrote very racy poetry for the time. But because of her writing and her poetry that did get published, she kind of led the way for other Latino, Hispanic authors and poets to really be seen within the community in the U.S., the poetry and literature community. So I thought that was really interesting. The next one, who's the next one, Rob? Oh, that's right. Maria Elena Salinas. Mine things out of order, so. Okay. So, she's really interesting. She is a newscaster who's been doing news, a Hispanic Latina who's been a newscaster for over 30 years on Univision, which is, you can see here in the U.S. and within like CNN, NBC, all of those, she has always contributed. But she was one of the first ones and the longest running news anchor in the U.S. that's been Latina. But she's, I think she's retiring is what I read, and
what
now
station is she working for?
No, she was the last station she was on Univision, and that was her last.
No, you have to say Univision.
Univision, yes. She retired from that, and now she's coaching and helping what's got other young anchors, and she's a very big activist for children, immigration children, and what's happening at the border right now. That's where she's throwing all of her energy into, which I thought was really cool.
I could see Michelada being a good anchor at Univision.
Oh my God, that's what I wanted to be when I was little.
No way.
I used to love because they used to talk so fast.
Like, what would you report
reportando
on,
en vivo
though?
aquí del primer impacto en Univision.
Sí.
Estamos reportando desde Miami, Florida.
Oh my God, you're gonna give me a seizure. Stop it.
I want to like give you. I want to give you like an
it's-
improv news report.
I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, text it to me. I'll do it.
Do it.
I don't know what the topic
Is Cristina on that list?
The what?
Cristina, is she on that list?
No, but I remember her, seeing her when I was a kid. Yeah, with my grandma. Yep. And she was like the Sally
Can you
Fields,
fill
wasn't
us
she?
in who we don't know who Cristina is?
She
Fill us
was.
in.
Go ahead, Michelada. She was like a Sally Fields Raphael, right?
She was almost like she had the potential to be the Latino Oprah.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was like this blonde, blue-eyed Cuban lady.
Yeah.
And she had a talk show and she would bring in like big names, and she like Gloria Estefan was one of her best friends, so she would bring like her on. They would get like a bunch of other like, and what I liked about it, they would like, if whatever soap opera was big in Latin America, she'd bring those stars, and then she'd also bring like U.S. Grammy winners, and she had a bunch of people on her show. So I kind of like that she catered to both.
She had a lot of like pop stars from America and then Latin America. She did a lot of like all over the place, but she was on the air forever, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember, yeah. So the next one on the list is Sonia Sotomayor. We all know who she is, right?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Did out the list, but she was the first. What's it called? Latina on this Supreme Court Justice. Yeah. So, and she's been doing well. You can follow her, especially since Trump's been in office. She's been working hard for the immigration and all that stuff. The last one, this one. Wait, which one is next, Rob?
I don't know. We were missing the other pictures. I don't have.
What did you do, Rob? God damn it.
Michelada, when's your birthday?
It goes back to the beginning.
Yeah, when's your birthday?
Mine?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a
October
Florida
13th.
man
No.
and make you read it.
So 2 more of the list. The next one I love and I have a special connection with because I was obsessed with the movie. But Rita Moreno, yeah, actress, singer, dancer. No, Bashy's like, I have no idea. She
West
was
Side
the
Story?
first Latina to win an Oscar in 1961 for West Side Story. But she is also one of the very, very few Latinas or Hispanic people to have won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So I thought that was,
Damn.
Yeah.
right?
What's that called again?
EGOT.
EGOT, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And she's still going. She was just on the Netflix show, the remake of, I forget what it was. Now I can't think of it. My old brain's like going away. But she played the grandma on a new show on Netflix. And she's still working. Like, she's still working.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that she's never lost it. And there's some other, before we finish off the list, other ones that didn't make the list that I thought, like Gloria Estefan was one. That I was like, why isn't she on the list? And there's, with Gloria Estefan, there's a really interesting. Do you remember Divas Live when they used to do that on VH1?
Yes.
Do you remember that? Anybody?
don't think
Or
I'm
am I
old
just
enough.
old?
I don't have cable.
Thank you, Eric. So there was a VH1 Divas Live for anybody who remembers out there. And it was like Patti LaBelle, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Cyndi Lauper, and then they had Gloria Estefan. And there was a picture that they posted. I wanted to say it was on Today. And you see all of them. And all you see of Gloria Estefan was her hand. And she said on an interview, she's like, yeah, they cut me out of the picture. I guess I wasn't a diva. I was like, that's fucked up. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Right? So the very last one, this one was given to me by my sister. When I asked her, like, for you, what Latinas have influenced you or that you would suggest as an icon? And she said Alice Baggs was for her. Alice Baggs was born Alicia Armadiaz, and she was one of the first American punk rock singer, musician, artist, educator, and feminist activist. She is the lead singer and co-founder of the band The Baggs, which was one of the very, very first punk bands to influence the punk scene in the 1970s in LA. And then she wrote a very successful book, her book called Violence Girl from East LA Rage to Hollywood Stage. It told her like her upbringing in East LA, and it was very like graphic, and she like no holds barred. But she eventually migrated to Hollywood and started in the punk scene and everything. But even till this day, she became a teacher. She was an author, an outspoken activist, a feminist, and she's still doing work in LA today for all of those communities. But of all the things, she's like proclaimed badass. Like that is her thing. She's like, I started the punk movement. I'm a badass. But she was like one of the only Latinas doing punk music at the time. So I thought that was fascinating. Yeah.
Oh, Blonde Bar closed though.
I know. Blonde Bar was cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Any other ones that you think should have made the list?
What's her name? Dolores Del Rio.
Dolores Del Rio?
Yeah, she was the first Hispanic. She was Mexican to cross over into Hollywood. In
Really?
The 30s? Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. I was thinking, well, Bette Midler does Dolores Talaga, the Toast of Chicago, the Mermaid. No, nobody? Okay, never mind.
No.
That's what it reminded me of. Oh, my God. You guys make me feel old.
You are.
Shut up. I hate you.
This
Any
isn't
other
a Bette
ones?
Midler podcast.
I know. It should be.
I swear to God, it has been 6 times in a row.
It should be. God damn it. Any other ones for you guys that stick out to you that should have made the list?
I can think of a Bette Midler podcast.
Bette Midler
We
podcast.
should do this with all of us dressed as different Bette Midlers.
Through the ages.
Like,
Which one would you be, Michelada?
I would want to be Bette Midler from Beaches.
Oh, see.
No, Tony's not gonna let you.
No, you can. I want to be 1970. What was it? 1978 Divine Madness when she was really raunchy and showed her titties all the time. Yeah, That's the bet I would want to be. That would be amazing.
I don't want to be Hocus Pocus because that's all I know.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
All
Which
right.
one would you be, Eric?
I guess First Wives Club, because that's all that's
Yes,
left
that was
for
gonna be
me.
my next one.
That is a good movie. I did see that one recently.
Oh man. Other one that I thought, well, she made the news this week was Sara Ramirez. Did you guys see she came out as non-binary? Well, she was
No.
first. She first was known for. Well, everybody knows her from Grey's Anatomy, but she came out as bi. But she came out on Instagram as what's it called, non-binary. And the way she did it and how she did it and what she said, I thought was so cool. Let me find it because it's not loading. So she had posted. She says, "I in me is the capacity to be a girlish boy." Boyish girl, boyish boy, girlish girl, all and not neither. I thought that was really cool. So she made, like, everybody was giving her support. And because you don't, I guess, from what I was reading with this article, people that come out as non-binary kind of get pushed to the side as, okay, yeah, whatever. So she, with this statement she put out, she got a lot of praise from just people who are not falling in the spectrum of gay, lesbian, straight, transgender. They're, for the people who are binary, non-binary, bisexual, they were all like just rooting for her and just be like, finally somebody's speaking for this demographic, which I thought was really cool. But that led me to think, like, so she came out as non-binary. And Michelada, maybe you can touch on this. How do you think it is for, compared to other cultures, for young Latino people to come out? Do you feel that it may be a little harder
I
because
think
of the
now
culture?
it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like now I see like kids are coming out and it's a lot easier within Hispanic communities.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't maybe like up
It
until
wasn't like
maybe,
that for me.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
recently I think it's been easier. But
And with the people that I know, like, it's the whole machismo thing.
yeah, it's the really just machismo
And
thing.
which is interesting because in the U.S. there was an article that came out saying that young Latinos will be the ones who pretty much determine the outcome of the 2020 U.S. election. Because
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was like, wow, good. But it's if they go out and actually vote. So everybody needs to go out and vote and to make a change is what I think. But yeah. Any other really famous Latinos that we didn't talk about that you guys think should get recognition?
I like Eva Longoria. I think she's like.
Did you see her
'cause
on the
pro-
DNC?
sh-
Was it
No,
her?
I didn't. Was
She
that
really
her?
good. Yeah. Yeah.
She produces a lot of things. Yeah, she produces a lot of shows, and like she's kind of more behind the scenes nowadays. But I think that's actually really cool that she's so successful that she can start creating things instead of just starring in them.
Starring in them, yeah.
Yeah.
She's one for sure. How about you, Bash? Any that we forgot?
We mentioned him on the last podcast, but I really love Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo's hilarious. Hilarious.
I got to kind of not work with him directly, but secure him for something. I can't talk about it, but
work,
yeah. But he was.
I forgot. We're not allowed to talk about it.
He's just really fucking cool, and I can't believe he agreed to do what we wanted him to do. And it was something that was more like supportive of a certain community, and it wasn't like, you know, a big production or that he was getting a shit ton of money or anything. He was just like, oh no, that's cool. I like that. And I'm going to help you guys. And he did like a lot more than I thought he would too.
Yeah.
He did like a bunch of like ads for us, and it was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love
Just very easy to work with. He pretty much was just like agreed with anything.
So to change topic a little bit, there is something that happened this week that I want to get your guys' opinion on. So Andrew Lloyd Webber dropped on TikTok a Phantom of the Whopper?
Okay, I'm getting like a little
Whopper?
annoyed with this fucking song because everybody keeps saying WAP, and I think they're making racially disparaging
Right,
remarks of
right.
it. Like, you can't just go around saying WAP, everybody.
No.
Like, it is offensive.
So anyways, so he did that with Cardi B remix, and people
What
are
was it?
are just canceling. They're like letting you know music is canceled. So I'm gonna play you the audio of the clip and see what
Yay.
you
Heard
guys
it.
think. Ready?
I haven't heard it either.
Here it goes.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me, quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me and tell
Stop.
That is it. Okay, so the
It sounds like
internet
the
is
intro to the Tea Party.
so the internet is. Let me just say one thing: social media, all of you people out there, you're mean. People are just mean. So
You
people
hate
are.
Phantom of the Opera, though.
I do, but because that's Rob's favorite show. It's the boringest show in the world.
No, it's
It
not.
really
It's the best. I
is.
love
No,
it.
it's not.
Hi,
I
I'm
like
here
it.
too.
Hi.
I hate that show. It is so boring. But this just made me laugh because it was like you take musical theater and you're putting it to wet ass pussy. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. It's hilarious. So people on social media are like, they are upset.
Okay.
People are like throwing their phones. Somebody said he should have never had access to the internet to begin with. Who do I need to call?
I
And
think
I'm
it's just it's a completely missed opportunity. If you're gonna put wet ass pussy to some kind of musical, it needs to be to Cats.
Why Cats?
Contextual. Pussy, Cats.
Kids.
Come on.
True.
Yeah,
He did
I
miss an
agree.
opportunity. But
Yeah.
it was just okay. So I thought it was hilarious personally. Which, but when I was doing stuff for the show and looking at Twitter and all social media, people are just ruthless. People are so ready to cancel stuff so immediately and take
why
it
do they
so
wanna-
personally.
Why do they want to cancel him over this?
Because 2020 got canceled on them. Now they want to cancel the shit on everyone.
I know.
I can't wait till someone tries to cancel me. I swear, that's when I know.
I know, me too, right? Somebody tries canceling the show. But it also brought up the whole thing with, you guys saw Randy Rainbow, what happened with him in the last week, right?
No.
Who?
I
So
have been
Randy-
working nonstop. I have no
I know,
fucking idea
I
what's
know.
going on.
So
right
Randy Rainbow is canceled now because tweets from 2011 to 2016 came out where he told some racist jokes about Latinos, Black people, trans community, and they were jokes. So he did an apology with the Advocate, and of course, everybody on social media, they're like, that apology is not good enough. We need a more better apology.
What
So
were the
he's
jokes?
pretty much canceled, even though he's very political now, and he changed his humor from then, which was 10 years ago. He changed his
Yeah.
humor, and now he's very political, and he does it with a Broadway kind of twist to it. But people on social media are just went in on him and just canceled him. Like if you listen to him or post anything, people are jumping on you for it. And to me, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it, but
These are for 2011 to 2010,
yeah,
and he said tranny a lot,
yeah.
which obviously we know is not okay. But
It's not. We used
And
to, like, even in the drag community, we used to say that a lot. Like, call
Yeah.
each other that. Because,
Yeah.
like, I mean, to me, it was like a shorter word on transvestite. So it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'd use that word, but like, now it's like, oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's fine if it really offends someone, or makes someone uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just found it interesting that a lot of the people and the people who were really counseling within the gay community. In my head, I was like, so okay, he said all this racist stuff about 10 years ago and made racist jokes, and he's a comedian. That's what he does. He's a comedian. So if he got in drag and did it, it would be okay, like Bianca Del Rio does, and nobody's come after her.
I'm not getting on this.
So
It's a bad word.
I'm just
I
saying.
agree.
I'm just
I
saying.
agree.
I'm just saying. If you're gonna cancel
agree with you,
him for
Tony.
the same kind of jokes, but you're gonna follow Bianca Del Rio and support her comedy, and you have no problem with that, I'm just saying. What's the difference? I'm putting that question out there to people.
Is
I'm
it
curious
okay
what
that
people
Bianca
think.
Del Rio says that? though?
Well,
Is she
that's what I'm
slow?
wondering. She may not talk directly about Black
'Cause
people,
I
but
think
she
Bianca's-
does say a lot about the Asian community, Latino community.
Well, like it's about everyone. Like,
Yeah,
it's
she
no
hates
fun of
everyone.
But okay, maybe I'm weird with this, but I do think comedians gets a little bit of a pass. Because, like, okay, like even George Lopez used to make really homophobic
Yeah.
jokes back in the day,
Yeah.
and I still love George Lopez. Like, I don't think that's a reflection on how he feels personally about
Yeah.
people, but it's like,
Mm.
it's It's satire.
It's that insult comedy. So that it's like what Don Rickles did his whole career. You know what I mean? So my question to you guys is in the where we are right now in America and in the world, does that type of type of humor comedy have no place or relevance anymore?
I hope.
Hey, we're getting tough questions today.
I hope.
I'm really curious about this.
I see it like very much.
The way I see it.
Okay, go ahead, Michelada.
So when you're on, like when you're on stage, unless you're like literally you're like freaking is it Tony Perkins, the one that's the motivational speakers? Unless you're like, if it's a show.
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins,
yeah, that's Tony Robbins. Well, like if it's like when you're on stage and it's a show, and you're gonna get up there and say, "I love you, you love me," reach out, touch your TV screen. If you can't love yourself, it's like, okay, you can only hear that so many times.
Yeah.
And like, what do people love on Drag Race? They love the cattiness, the bitchiness, the back and forth. So it's you can't like it from, I don't know, it's weird. Like I do think that you have to realize the context
of where it's coming from.
Exactly. And I think that's what I think that's maybe why people are so lenient with Bianca Del Rio, because Bianca Del Rio is a character, not a person.
But isn't Brandy Rainbow is too a character? Yeah. But is the problem with that is because he's a white cis gay male, where Bianca is a Hispanic drag queen? Does that give a little leeway there to Bianca maybe to do the same types of jokes and not get canceled?
Maybe in people's eyes, maybe.
Yeah,
I think so,
it's an interesting conversation to have.
It is.
But I don't think it should be, because like some of my favorite comedians make fun of race a lot, like Margaret Cho and Angela Johnson, and like
I love Angela Johnson.
I don't think it's fair to go to a comedian's past and pull something out and penalize them for what they've done back then in today's culture. Like, look at what they're doing now, look at what they're saying now. Because we didn't know that things are offensive,
and how they're
different times of our life.
Culture now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Bashi? What do you think?
I don't know. I think like number one, don't put anything in writing. Don't.
That's why this podcast will never be in writing.
Don't tweet. Number two, it's all about context. I think I see both sides of it, because I think making
Hi Michelada. Who was that? Snowflake.
I think making fun of those things can be like, it kind of normalizes it and lets people laugh with you. It's just that like making things to the point where it's offensive is the touching part. Because if you make fun of something too much, then it gives people a pass to also use it.
Yeah. Michelada, like let's say you're at a comedy show and it's like Bianca Del Rio or Joe Lopez or any, it doesn't matter the comedian, but they're going in on Latinos. Do you get offended? Or if they're telling, let's say, I don't know, gay jokes or whatever, would you get offended if it was specifically, let's stick to the Latino, if it was about Latino culture?
I think you can tell when someone's trying to be hurtful or make fun of a stereotype.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people don't like it, but stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
And now it's one thing to make fun of the stereotype and not the people. Is that?
Yeah. No. I totally understand that. You're making fun of the situation, because there's a lot of even Hispanic comedians that do that within their culture. But is it okay because it's coming from a Hispanic or Latino comedian? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I do think I think people in that sense, that's why they make fun of like their own culture, because it's like they are allowed to get away with it. But sure, if I pull up my ancestry, my 23andMe, I can make fun of everyone. So.
Right? Me too. I don't know. It was just
my Jewish side.
You're Jewish. You're like, I'm 0.1% Jewish.
I'll tell you which part isn't Jewish.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, I'm gonna be canceled.
I know. Oh god. I don't know. I think
allowed in Williamsburg, Brooklyn at all.
I think cancel culture is a bit. It just seems like it's It's
a bit
exhausting.
much. Yeah, it's really
exhausting.
tiring.
It really is. I've
Go
been
ahead,
trying
Eric.
to cancel Miriam T for so long.
It
and
just
it's
won't take.
exhausting.
It won't
It's
take.
so,
I don't know
so
what we
much
got to
time
do.
and effort.
God, I mean, we've had
Girl,
5 petitions.
She's
We've-
canceling
oh.
herself right now.
When you
Her
see her in
wine
drag,
club.
that cancels herself.
I wonder what's going on.
She's
over
not
there
here to
right now.
defend herself. Poor Miriam. She'll be back next week.
Oh, you know what's so speaking of like of cancel culture and
Yeah.
people getting so lately she's been super sensitive when I text her shit and she's like, after all the mean things you texted me, I'm like,
What did you say?
What did you say? I'm
I don't know, I just
curious.
like
Ooh.
texted her like eat dirt and die trash or something.
That's how. That's
then,
what I
like,
say to Rob
That's
every
how she
morning when I
talks
wake
to
up.
everybody, though.
I know. And then like a week later, I completely forgot like we were texting about something else, and she's like, "Oh, now you're gonna speak to me like a normal person."
Wait a minute. Eric and Bashi, Miriam has gone into all of us at least very hard on the show, right?
Yeah.
Right? Worse
Yeah.
than that.
When I'm not even present to defend myself,
Yes.
I'm gonna hold back,
That is true.
Holding back.
That is true. We know this is true.
holding back all my venom. So when she's on here, she has the opportunity to defend herself and
Oh,
dig
my
herself
God.
into even a deeper hole.
This is your time to defend yourself, Michelada, for all of the shit she has said about you on the show.
She said something last week.
She says something every week.
I listen to the podcast. Does she think I don't listen to it? Or I have people call me. They're like, I've literally had people come like, "Girl,
Did you listen to
this
what
is what
Miriam
Miriam
said?
said about you." Yeah.
As long as they're talking about
As-
you.
exactly.
People are talking.
I'm like, oh, she remembers me.
Oh God. But you know, cancel culture is just exhausting. I'm sorry, it's exhausting. I don't
It
know how
is.
these young kids have the
What do you-
energy to do
What
it.
do you guys think would be the reason you get canceled over something?
Probably I don't know. What would it be for you, Michelada? What would people cancel you over?
Probably killing Miriam on stage.
No, Michelada, you would be promoted to sainthood for that.
I would be canonized.
I
She just
know.
takes all her gigs.
I know.
Michelada's tea party.
Fuck the tea, we're drinking micheladas. That would be a great title for the show. An ad say tea party. Fuck the tea, we're having
She should
micheladas.
let you do a takeover.
That
What would
would
you
be
call it?
so funny.
That's the title of this show.
Oh, fuck the tea. It's
Who
all
invited her? I would name it Who Invited Her.
Oh God.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
But for copyright reasons, so I don't get Tony doesn't sue me, I'd change it to Whom Invited
Whom
Her.
invited her? Can you imagine if you started a podcast how pissed this one would get? We wouldn't hear
Oh,
the
God.
That bitch said who?
Oh, my. How about you two, Eric and Bashi? What would people cancel you over?
Probably local politics. There's one in particular that's really
Yeah.
getting under my skin right now.
Yeah, which a lot of
He
people
and or
don't-
she just completely
much.
uses identity politics to the nth and doesn't have any actual like.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who this is.
I know you know who this is.
I know,
There's
I do
actually
too.
two who are like
I
this.
do too.
Yes.
The one thing a lot of people don't know about Bash, and he doesn't really say a lot about it on the show, but Bash knows a lot about local politics.
Yes.
I do.
A lot. The ins
Way
and
more
outs
than-
and what's
Way more
going
than
on.
me.
Yeah, way more than me. And it's like, I like when he goes, so we've said this on the show before. We have a boy chat with all of the boys. And Bash, for local politics, I wait for his summary. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know,
okay,
and
I'm
it's like,
caught up.
blah, blah, blah,
I'm
blah,
caught
blah,
up. I know
blah,
what's
blah,
going on. I know what's going on.
And
I'm
they're doing
updated.
this just to knock this building down and blah blah blah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'll see a
Whole
blurb
fucking
on
thing.
like Facebook or something else, and I'm like, I don't have time to read. I'll just wait for the cliff notes from Bash.
Yeah.
That's why I abstain from discussing them on the show.
Yeah. What
It's
about you,
super
Eric?
helpful.
What are you gonna get canceled for?
I guess if anybody's ever seen me at Bear Night at the Marrow, you'd probably cancel me over that. I don't
Why?
know.
Wait, why?
I'm a toucher
Come
because I
on.
don't like
We've
those
all seen
guys.
you. You ain't canceled.
Yeah, we've all seen you.
I know. It's like she's syndicated.
It's It's
Were.
true.
You're much different now.
Was
syndicated.
Wink,
Yes.
wink.
Way in the
like-
past.
You were like friends.
Way in the
So-
past.
You were
What,
on
a month ago?
Bravo USA.
He's listening in the past.
Or what? Did we give him a name, or are we calling him by his real?
He
name?
said we could go by his real name, Lorenzo. It is.
By his government
Lorenzo,
name?
his government name.
Yes.
I
His
fucking
government
love
name.
that first name too, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a
Lorenzo
good
de
name.
Medici.
He's fun.
Yes. He's in Martha this week. Martha.
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 It's a place in
Where
Texas.
is that? Texas. Why?
Because it's an art town, and they have a Prada store that looks. It's an art installation. It looks like a real Prada store in the middle of the desert with
Oh, I've
product
seen
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
But it's closed all the time. Like you can't shop it or anything. It's very
Really?
We need more
weird.
places like that in California. How come we don't just build like artist communities in these podunk places that need help? Like, what's the Salt and
Yeah.
Sea doing? You got
I know. Seriously.
yeah, but if they got good drugs, that should make the art better, right?
Exactly. So before we wrap everything up, I want to get your final thoughts on cancel culture, each of you. Let's start with Michelada. Final thoughts on cancel culture, Michelada. What do you think?
It's unnecessary.
Thank you. Eric?
too much time and work.
Bashi?
I don't like it unless it's against somebody I don't like. Then I'm all for it.
Cancel Miriam T.
said like a true Libra. Scales. God damn you. Mine would be it's exhausting. It's
It is tiring.
exhausting. But
Yeah.
speaking of cancel culture, you know what time it's time for?
And then there's Carol. And then there's Carol. Sassy, slutty, sexy, stanky. Right on, Carol.
Carol, for once in your life, shut your damn mouth.
Yes, guys, it's time for Carol of the Week. Who wants to go first with their Carol of the Week? I know Michelada has one. She kind of said it earlier before the show started. Do you want to go first, Michelada?
Yeah, well, I guess they're not curls anymore. So I had maybe about a month ago, had two patients that are just like not nice to people. And I never wished it on them, but I was just like, oh my gosh, it would be nice if they never came in again.
And
And
they can't.
They both died.
Wait,
So
of
now
COVID?
no, like completely unrelated.
I would be so
Because
happy.
they were
just
mean.
horrible. They were mean to like all the staff. They were like rude. One was like super racist.
Wow.
And so
I love it.
I
I love
need
it.
to.
I'm
That
rooting
was-
so
for you.
now the running joke is that I have a list.
You have a list
She
of
has a
people.
power.
I have
She's
a
got
list.
a power.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So blink twice if you want me to say her name.
So
her
you're
name.
like nurse, the dark nurse. Don't get in her ward. You won't come out alive. Kevorkian. Wow. So they were like
I love
truly
that.
just despicable people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like the one type that like come in and like are super mean to staff, like
Yeah.
racist too. Like,
Oh,
I mean, like without giving away
Karma's
too
a
much. Like,
bitch. Karma's a bitch.
We have a couple doctors that are like ethnic, and so when they saw that like this doctor that was going to treat them was ethnic and they
Yeah.
weren't, they were like, well, I don't want this person helping me. I want someone that learned, medicine in America. I'm like, the best doctors come from other places.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That
that is
was
so
one.
annoying.
Yeah.
Well, they're not Carols no more.
They're not Carols no more. That is true. Wow, Bash.
Well, like
for you.
the thing is,
Happy
like, so
for you.
I think like it's so funny because like you're so happy for me. I know.
I am.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
Bash
God,
is
I
like
would-
other Bash
You know
is
what's
like
the
other
crazy
people's
part?
misery.
I
Yes, other
imagine
part
people's
is, like,
misery.
situations all the time. Like I would love people I hate to die.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have a
things
list?
Never happen to me.
Oh yeah.
It just don't happen to me.
Can we get a
Oh,
name
yeah.
off of the
Twice
list?
in a row.
No, I'm not gonna do any goddamn names.
I do. I'm looking
know
at
you
all.
do.
I'm looking at 4 of them right now. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, yourself?
Yourself?
Yeah, actually, I can't stand myself. I'm over. I'm canceling myself. I'm over me. What about you, Eric? Do you have a carol this week?
So my carol is all the TikTokers at the San Diego beaches who fucking are making videos with their ring lights and their bikinis and go the fuck home. I'm just trying to get some ocean waves
Thank
here.
you.
God damn it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That was my biggest complaint last week too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you both have
That's
been
why
venturing
I don't
out.
go to the beach. I don't want anyone catching this on video.
Fuck no. I text Bashy. I was supposed to go to the beach a couple weeks ago, but I didn't end up going. I was like, he's like, oh, when are you going? Are you sure you want to see a beached whale? Because that's what's gonna happen if I go to the beach.
I don't understand why people from LA and Orange County come down here to go to our beaches. I'm like, y'all got
Yeah.
beaches. Stay.
Yeah.
Why
I don't
is
get
that?
it.
Rona
I'm
spreaders.
curious. Yeah, why come down here? Leave us alone.
No, look, I love everybody. And
No,
I
you
want-
don't.
That's not true.
No, you
That's
No,
not
you
true.
know you
Such a
don't.
lie.
You are such a liar. Yeah, I didn't even buy that for
Stay
a
the fuck
second.
home. Don't come down here.
She tried to say that with a straight face.
I
Did
mean,
you
I
see that?
know.
honestly, if I know you,
everyone.
if I know you, especially if you're listening to this podcast and you're from LA and Orange
Yeah.
County, I love you. Come on down. We'll hang out. But stay the fuck home if you don't, because I don't need more people down here. San
Yeah.
Diego's getting invaded, you guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
There are more New Yorkers, San Franciscans, Angelinos than I've ever seen in my entire life down here because they're all leaving because they don't have to work at the
Mhm.
office anymore.
I know.
Mhm.
Housing prices are up like 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're snatching this shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
so
getting scared.
true.
I don't want to gentrify the fuck out of town like that.
I know. God, I was just gonna say something. My old brain forgot it. Bashi, is that your carol too this week or no?
No, I've got several.
Oh God, what is it?
No.
Oh God.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
But wait, I gotta play Bashi's music because we haven't played it in a while. But we'll,
Oh,
let
my
me
Kill
see if I-
Bill?
Yeah, your Kill Bill.
I don't have a knife.
Ready?
No.
Here she goes. She's getting worked up. She's getting fired
Alright.
up. Go ahead, Bash. Let us have
Mine's
it.
a little similar to Michelada's. I just have a few people in my life that are just complete fucking misers. Like they don't have anything to say except something negative. Everything out of their mouth is a goddamn complaint. They're fucking rude, like real rude.
Yeah.
And I have to live in close proximity to some of them.
Yeah.
And every morning I hear this one person that just gets under my skin constantly. And I hear her yelling at people on the phone because that's all she does all day is just complain to like cops, the hospital, phone provider, Verizon, AT&T. I don't even know how many goddamn things she has, but it's just
I'm
constant.
right here. I'm right here.
She's
on this
right
phone.
there.
I'm
Right
right
there.
here.
The credit card company, the bank. It's just all day long, just calling and complaining. Literally, I'm not kidding. That's like all this person does. And every morning I'm taking my dog out at 8 a.m. I hear her at the top of my staircase and I just mutter on my breath, "Ancora viva," which means in Italian, she's still alive.
So you're
And then I
witch.
just-
You're
That-
Sweet
Sadly
name.
walked down.
I'll add it to my list.
He's like, I was working up a spell last night. It didn't work.
I've tried everything. Janika's recommended in like brujeria to put like mirrors
Yeah.
against my wall, reflecting her negative energy back at her.
Oh, is that what's on your bed?
No. Oh god. Girl.
That mirror has
Okay,
been
let me
there
get into
for-
the second thing.
God damn that
Wayfair.
mirror.
Wayfair can go suck a dick. This thing has been on my bed for 6 months. No, it hasn't been that long. 4 months. I bought this goddamn closet in May. They sent me one of these mirrors that was broken. I can't add this one to the closet until I get the second one done. They've sent 2 broken mirrors, both of which I've had to take to the dump myself. Don't ever fucking buy furniture from those people. It is insane.
For people who've been watching the video version of this podcast, you have
That
seen
mirror-
that mirror
In
since
every
COVID
episode
started.
since COVID started.
It is
It
there.
it makes for really great parties though. Like
I know,
oh
like,
my
can
god.
you-
The lines of coke the Bashy
8
and
feet
Eric
long,
have done off of
Michelada.
that
8
mirror.
feet long. We're just like,
Michelada, why are you salivating? Stop.
Well, I tried so I could lose weight, but it just made me eat faster.
Oh my god.
I've never heard that before. That sucks.
That's so bad. Oh my god.
Oy vey.
What is my Carol this week? My Carol is so I see a lot of posts on Facebook from people within our community that work as servers in the restaurants and bars, and they're putting their lives at risk for COVID, right?
Mhm.
And the number one complaint I am seeing from our different friends that have been on the podcast, that I see all the time, and it just infuriates me, is how entitled and how rude customers have been during COVID. And I feel so bad for anybody within our community and outside of our community that is in the service industry, that is out there trying to make an ends meet and working at these establishments that are really, really following the guidelines, but you're having patrons come in and being rude to the staff and not following the guidelines and stuff like that. Just don't do that. There's no need. There's no need. Put your privilege aside. Think about the other people around you. Think about the people who are serving you. Think about what they're risking coming to work every day, and just have patience and be kind.
Also,
seriously.
These
I'm
people are
usually nice, but when
fucking-
Miriam's my server.
Oh no, throw your utensils, tear down a brick from your establishment, throw it at her. Just anything. She's like a
Anytime
tank.
she's my
She can
server,
take it.
I always drop my fork. I'm like, oops, sorry.
Give her a hard time.
Oh my god.
You're one of those people who eat
I'm like,
everything
I'm
on
sorry,
the plate.
my ice isn't cold enough.
I don't understand people
Yeah.
being rude to,
I don't
because
either.
I was in the service industry
for a long time. For a
15
while, right?
years. I was serving and then managing a restaurant, so I've seen it all.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, do not fuck with the people that are handling with your food, because if you think we're
No.
not fucking with your food, we are fucking with your food.
Mhm.
Even like the slightest thing, like people
Yeah.
would be like, I want a decaf, I give you full caffeine. Good luck sleeping tonight, little bitch.
But yeah, I got really tired of, or just sympathetic to our friends of the podcast who have been posting this with stuff in the community. I'm like, why can't people just be patient and nice? What's wrong with that? Your
Yeah,
food's gonna
I don't
come.
know.
Whatever your problem is, it's not gonna end the world. You're fine.
I mean, granted, there's
Just suck it
issues
up.
that happen, but don't blame
Yeah.
your server for everything. You don't
I
know what's going on
and
back
don't be
there.
rude. God
Yeah.
damn.
What if the
Life's too
kitchen
short.
exploded?
Exactly. Life's too short. Don't worry about that shit. But you guys, those are our carols of the week.
I'm all stressed out.
I know. God, Carol stresses me out. Fucking Carol.
Fucking Carol.
Fucking Carol. But that is our show, everybody. Thank you, Michelada, for co-hosting after all this time.
After all these months.
I know. You got to
It's
come
almost
back
been a
next
year.
time Miriam's doing Wine Club and co-host with us again.
Oh no, I want to fight her.
Yeah, you
On
want to
here?
fight. I know. You know what's really weird, Michelada? We have not had the two of you on an episode together.
Yeah.
What?
No, like we
Right?
have.
I'll sacrifice my
Over
place
here.
to observe that.
It'll be a good show. We're gonna put money down. Who's gonna win? It's like a Vegas fight.
You're just
Who's
like
gonna
beating
win?
each other up.
I know. How do people find you, Michelada? Give them all your info. Where
You
can
can
they
find me at michelada.com. MICHELEADA.
God, see, it's not just me. I'm not the only one with a little dyslexia.
Yes, you can find me at michelada.com. You have the links to all my social media on
Yes.
there. I also have my t-shirts on there. Yeah, hit me up on that.
All of that, yes. And how do people find you, Bashy?
I'm at say my name _bash.
There you
And
go.
I haven't been that active on Instagram, but
No, you've been quieter
Yeah.
than normal. Makes me
I'll
scared.
get
It
better.
makes me scared. Like, is the world coming to an end? What's happening?
Yeah.
How do people find you, Eric?
You can find me drinking a Michelada, not that Michelada. Or you can find me on Instagram at Party Bear Eric. I changed it again.
Again?
Party Bear
I
Eric.
saw it. I'm
Oh,
like, where's
dear
this bitch party?
Lord.
Everything's closed.
I know. Who's she partying with? Who's she partying with?
I can't talk about it. They'll cancel
right.
me.
You're canceled. You guys, you can follow the show at Who Invited Her _podcast on Instagram. We are Who Invited Her SD on Twitter and Facebook. You can watch us live every Saturday on YouTube and on the Out at TV app, and now trending. We are on there every Saturday, 12:30. Hang out with us, have a cocktail, all of that good stuff. Give us an email. Give us your opinions on topics we've talked about on the show. We would love hearing from you guys. You can email us at thegang@whoinvitedher.net. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Tony_Baloney_macaroni. And Miss Miriam T will be back next week, hopefully. And that is it. I know, boo. But that is our show. You guys have a good rest of the weekend this weekend. And don't forget, it's going to be Hispanic Heritage Month. So go out, have a margarita, do something. But we will see you next week, you guys. Bye.
Bye.